Empress Alexandra Feodorovna was very skilled at needlework, and from a very early age taught her daughters to sew, knit and embroider. She opened various schools to teach handicrafts to girls from poor families, in particular embroidery. One of Alexandra's maids of honor, Anna Taneva, says about the Empress, brought up in England and Germany, the Empress did not like the empty atmosphere of St. Petersburg light, and she hoped to instill a taste for work there. To this end, she founded the Handicraft Society, whose members, older and young ladies, were obliged to work at least 3 things a year for the poor. At first, everyone got to work, but soon, like everything else, our ladies cooled down, and no one could work even 3 things a year. The idea didn't stick. The royal children fully shared the selfless motherly labors aimed at helping people. The Empress turned the halls of the Winter Palace into workshops, gathered hundreds of noble ladies and maidens, and organized a working community. She herself worked tirelessly, and all the daughters took an example from their mother. Harbin Depot alone received up to 12 million different items from the Winter Palace. The imperial family was not limited to monetary assistance, but also sacrificed its own personal labors, testified monk Seraphim Kuznetsov in the book The Orthodox Tsar Martyr. The products made by her sister and daughters, Grand Duchesses Olga, Tatiana, Maria and Anastasia, sewing, drawings, postcards, were often sold in charity bazaars. Alexandra Feodorovna wrote to the Tsar during the First World War, "The exhibition bazaar works very well. Our handcrafts are sold out before they appear." In the usual daily routine of Alexandra Feodorovna, the morning hours between breakfast and lunch were especially reserved for needlework. It is known that around 1913, she embroidered the baptismal veil for the son of an officer who served in Livadia, cover and banners for the Orthodox Church in Darmstadt, 1899, including a banner with the face of Mary Magdalene, in whose honor the temple was consecrated. The altar covering of the chapel of St. James's Palace, London, were embroidered by her and her daughters. During the First World War, the Empress, seriously worried about the country, was engaged in the arrangement of hospitals for the wounded, personally assisted in operations at hospitals. In 1914, in Tsarskoye Selo, a chapel was arranged in the local hospital, for which the Empress embroidered the Pokrovtsi. Semyon Pavlov, an officer of the machine gun team of the 10th Kuban Plaston Battalion, writes, "With the arrival of the highest persons in the infirmary, the working life began, dressings and operations. When ill, the Empress shifted hospital work for embroidery. I sat down next to a particularly badly wounded man and, taking him talking, embroidered at the same time." The embroideries exhibit the great and delicate taste of the Empress. I rarely saw such a skillful embroiderer. The Empress embroidered especially well with colors and created real artworks. Alexandra Feodorovna founded a school of folk art in St. Petersburg. It trained girls from different cities and villages in craft professions. This education gave a chance to develop handicraft production in the country, which occupied 30% of all output in pre-revolutionary Russia. The Empress in any free time took up embroidery or knitting. On trips and long journeys, she had spokes and hooks ready at her disposal. She considered occupation extremely useful and important for any woman. Ready-made things were transferred to the front, to shelters, hospitals, monasteries. The Queen considered this her direct duty and taught her daughters to always remain busy and useful. She was a model of the creative, pious and active woman who spent her life serving her people until the last moments of her life.